Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state.
Welcome back to another episode of Innovation Unplugged, the podcast brought to you by the Innovation Center and the Alabama Community College System. Today, you unfortunately are stuck with myself and Tom's Chapel. We are the Career Readiness Division of the Innovation Center. I'm the Career Readiness Manager. He is the Career Readiness Coordinator. Today, we have the honor of our special guest that over the past 3 or 4 months feel like we've spent a lot of time with. We have let our guest introduce himself today.
My name's Jackson Baker. I go to Hillcrest High School in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
And Jackson, what grade are you in?
I started out in 11th, but now I'm going into 12th grade.
So you'll be a senior this upcoming school year.
Yeah.
Career Tech Path, what program are you in at Hillcrest?
I'm in welding and carpentry.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you being here, and thank you for taking the time in this afternoon to be with us. And we've got a list of stuff to talk about. Excited to talk about a lot of this stuff and document it for, as Houston would say, our 2 audience members to watch later. But a lot of good things that you've done, we've collaborated with, and we're excited to share all of those things with our audience. Get us started. How initially did you hear about or come upon Skills for Success in our courses?
It started in my carpentry class for the CT stuff. I got offered a trip to the local community college at Shelton to just learn and run heavy equipment stuff. Started out with bulldozer, moved to skid steer and then mini X.
And those were through your carpentry class?
My carpentry teacher set it up for us.
Good.
So at that point in time when you were being introduced to that, what was the reasoning for the course? Was there mention of a CRI, or was it legit work-based experience for what are you going to do after high school, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Just to learn and have fun. And the teacher told me I would get a CRI for it.
Yeah, and CRI is key, which you will learn that of your upcoming school year. This will be the first year that all 9 through 12, by the time you graduate, you got to have a CRI or some sort of CCRI to meet that graduation requirement. So, all right, so you toured Shelton. Great folks at Shelton. They do a great job with our courses. And then at what point in time did the mention of Skills for Success meets Skills USA happen?
I think it was right after I just got finished with the skid steer course. A teacher called me out of the blue one day, and he told me about Skills USA and pretty much the competition happening down in Mobile. Asked if I'd be interested.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, let me check my parents, and I gave him the yes after a few hours.
So parents were supportive, and the instructor you're speaking about, you are more than welcome to use his name. He's been a big help for you during this whole time. Talk about him a little bit.
My teacher's name is Carlos Acker. He pretty much helped me get into all this stuff for Skills for Success and Skills USA.
And my understanding, this was his first year at Hillcrest, right? So
second year.
Second year. So he kind of hit the ground running and picked up that ball and ran with it. And we like to see that, did what was best for his students. It's an inconvenience because it's extra things out of his normal teaching duty, but you get into that line of work to see great kids like you pursue something they're passionate about in the future. That's great to see.
How much time did you have to prepare for the state competition? Once you gave it your thumbs up, you met with your parents and your teacher and said, hey, we're going to do this. How much time did you have to prepare?
I believe I had around 2 weeks to prepare.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Cool. Do you think for, at least in your mind anyway, how much did the Skills for Success heavy equipment courses that you had taken at Shelton, how much did that prepare you, or in your mind, how much did you think, that was prepare you for the competition?
It definitely helped a lot, especially with a lot of the handwritten stuff, all the tests, learning a lot more like components of machinery that I didn't know before. That definitely helped.
Good. Yeah, good. That's good to hear when all this ties together. And so to see it's been exciting for me to be a part of the team that Matt and I are on, because it's just been over a year, but for all this to come to fruition in a relatively very, very short period of time, for you to find out you're going, go to the state, win the state, go to the, it's been amazing, and it all ties together.
So from, again, hearing about skills for success, then attaching that to Skills USA, do you feel like when you got to the state competition, there was benefit in what we put in as a prerequisite? You had to have skid steer and excavator to be able to compete in that competition. What would that have looked like without that previous experience of the Skills for Success course?
I feel like I would have fell like flat on my face without it. It definitely helped, got me back into the cab of machines and just a lot of stuff I didn't know, like about components and pre-start and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Out of all the aspects of the Skills for Success skid steer excavator course, what stuck out the most that like this was very beneficial when I got to the heavy equipment competition at state?
Definitely the safety stuff for it, like 3 points of contact and seatbelt, all that kind of stuff definitely helped, because before it wouldn't have crossed my mind.
Right. Well, and that would have been an automatic deal breaker, because you don't do that, you got to get off the machine, you fail. So it's good that you point that out. So we get to the state heavy equipment operation Skills USA, the first time the state of Alabama had ever piloted that, and then you're the state champion. So within that year, first time you've heard about Skills for Success, Skills USA, and now you're the heavy equipment operating state champion for the high school division. What was that like for you?
I feel like we should have a trophy.
Yeah.
You could have brought your banner with you.
Yeah. Medals or something.
Yeah. Or both.
It was definitely a shock. I heard people talking after the competition. I thought I just blew it, with the time, and really I just completely shocked me when I heard my name get called up in Mobile.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome to see. And then, which you interviewed on the little snippet that the Innovation Center put out, just kind of promoting all things Skills USA for the first year pilot. But of course, you said you were shocked that you won. We had another that he thought he was going to win, but to that point, a lot of underclassmen that got called up on the stage at state, and then to piggyback off that, moving from state to nationals, which our state competition was at best a 1-day competition. We tested, paper test, skills test, everything, and then you show up to orientation for Skills USA Nationals. And how many different sections did they tell you to start off with you were going to touch?
Way more than I'd ever seen. There was a lot of kids that had already graduated high school before me.
Yeah. Was it 20, 24, 25?
I think it was on those 2 days. Yeah.
And so
inside and out.
And it was good for us to see the way they broke that down. And we had conversations, the turnaround time from all this stuff with everybody in play to make it a huge success. And for you to have the success you did was, we can't thank all those people enough, but with all that turnaround time and then that few weeks in between state and nationals, we tried to get you in any of the courses that we had that would help you, because we had all the competencies and things that they were going to address at nationals. Just in a 1-day competition you can't get to. Right. So within the next, probably by the end of the summer, you'll finish up the land survey helper, which played a little bit into the nationals. And a lot of those machines we haven't even scratched the surface of yet, but the ability for us to see that, and you be an underclassman, and who knows what next year holds, but just coming from the state to the nationals and all that extra equipment, talk about that.
Well, that was some of that equipment, like the articulated hauler and the wheel loaders. That was my first time ever being in the cab of one of those.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
17-year-old driving an articulated hauler, and you did
I know,
good.
that
They
definitely
look like
surprised
fun.
me. When we went out there the first day to tour it and I saw one of those, I just couldn't believe it.
And I tell you, that front end, the wheel, the loader.
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow! The tires on that thing are taller than you.
Yeah.
And here you are, fixing to hop up in that cab
Mhm.
and pick up. I don't know how many cubic yards one of those things holds, but man. Before we could go on, back up a little bit. I want to know. So you're in Mobile, state champion. You dinner with your parents, Carlos, and when does it hit you? Holy cow! I'm going to nationals. What was that like?
On the car ride home.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought, oh, this is going to be huge when we get there.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, I'm a big competitor, but never ever have I competed on a state level that qualified me to go to a national anything. So I imagine that, well, like you said, in the car ride home, that had to have been a cool
Yeah.
experience. But then we could go and jump back. I just wanted to hit that. But yeah, when Matt and I went to Komatsu's site at the national event where the outside activities were, which you had the privilege of going there, I guess 2 days before or day before to see it. When we got out there, we were like, man,
Yeah, it was a big
Jackson's
jump up.
17 years old and he's gonna be driving this stuff. How do you even
Yeah.
know what to do?
Yeah.
But I guess you're training. I guess they're all fairly similar in a way.
Yeah.
mean,
I was just remembering my 3 points of contact, just the basics.
Yeah.
Just to even get in it.
Well, you were impressive out there. We
Yes.
stayed the day out there on site at Komatsu, which is an awesome site, and the way they had it laid out and all. But
Yeah.
it was impressive to watch, and Matt and I talked a lot about it. Talk a little bit about, too, in that the support you had, not from Matt and I. We were there to support you and to learn, but from all the people you brought from Tuscaloosa, how was that having family and Carlos and his wife and your granddad and all there?
It was someone to always have my back. You know, when I wasn't sure or wasn't confident with it, I was nervous. They were there to support me and walk me through it.
That's cool. That's important. Life lesson. If you're not to be an old man preaching at you, but that's having that family support and that support at your job is going to be huge for you, and you're starting off well on your way, and as far as having that support.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you could tell from the start that support for you was there. The awkward part at nationals was when he starts competing, don't talk to him.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there and you're watching stuff. You're like, man, if he could just see this ahead of time, like we know he's done it and he's prepared, but just to have a conversation. But the way they set it up, it was evenly fair for everybody. There was no downtime, no way to peek around and see what's next. So
they had it where you could not see the next station.
Yeah, that on that the indoor portion where you drove the Mini X and picked up the pipe and had to stick it down into large, medium, smaller holes. And so I watched that a couple times before you got there, and I saw Carlos. I said, hey, we need to get it with Jackson and let him know that, blah, blah, blah. Because I had identified a better way to do it than some of them were doing. He goes, yeah, but we can't talk to him. I said, man, I forgot about that. But
it was automatic disqualification.
Yeah. And so we had, Matt and I had it figured out how for you to best do that.
Yeah.
I think you did anyway, but it was, I was like, I can't talk to him.
Yeah.
So the first day, we had not experienced, which nobody from the state of Alabama had experienced that, but to see the indoor portion of the all electric machines, like that stuff had never crossed my mind before. But you started the day; it was testing portion for you, right?
Yeah.
And you were up in that room for 4 hours.
Seemed like it, yeah.
Well, you started out at 8 o'clock that morning, and y'all's
lunch was right after.
Yeah. So 12 o'clock, 8 to 12, y'all were. Did you test that whole time, or
I think everybody was finished in about 30, 45 minutes.
So what did the rest of that time look like? Nervous wreck, wondering what's next?
That's what got me with my nerves and stuff, was just sitting there, thoughts started getting to me. Yeah.
And no way to see out of the room. You couldn't see down what was going on. So you're literally just stuck in the holding room until they say you're next, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Jeez.
Well, you hide it pretty well, the nerves, because, every time we saw you when we were following around, you looked calm as a cucumber, but you were all wound up, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That was good. So So bringing all the things we've discussed, Skills for Success, the Skills USA, on to our next topic with this was a late afternoon podcast, and we did it around this junior in high school that is working a full-time summer job. And where's that summer job at?
The Tuscaloosa County Public Works. I work in the mechanic shop specifically.
And in between all this stuff, that job enabled you to put your hands on some equipment that our courses didn't offer to help you prepare for nationals. But did this job interest come to be from all the things we have talked about, or just a family member, hey, we know somebody, are you interested, or is it all kind of tying together?
Well, I'd always been interested in that kind of stuff, and then I got the opportunity to work. My grandfather helped me get it and get started, and been there ever since last summer.
Awesome. The grandpa retires, he's still there as well?
He retired years ago.
Would you say, so you I don't want to say you had a back door in, but it always helps to know. But would you say to those listening that the experience you've gained through our Skills for Success courses and through your competition in Skills USA, both at a state and national level, have you found that to be helpful in your job?
Oh yeah, like, all the time I get asked, can you move this into the shop or move it out, stuff like that.
So they know that you're capable of doing, so you get asked a little extra to do a little,
yeah.
compared to some others.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So is this a place that long term you see yourself staying and working?
I've definitely thought about it. It's pretty good opportunity for me with the benefits and just starting early.
Has there been any conversation about that? Right now, with your age, there's certain things you can do with their insurance and things like that. With when you graduate, here's where you can step up and move to next if you decide to stay with us.
I've definitely had conversations with the foreman and my boss and stuff, just talking about my future there and my long-term retirement, stuff like that.
Yeah. And Tom and I talk to students at career fairs and things all the time. And a lot of them, they look over these municipality jobs because maybe the hourly wage is a dollar or two too less. But you immediately mentioned it when we asked you about it, was the benefits. The long-term benefits would outweigh a dollar or two an hour starting out. And a lot of the younger students, I don't say they don't get it. Maybe they just haven't dove into it enough to understand that is that extra. I mean, depending on how many hours you work, $40 or $80 extra a week worth 25 years from now. This is what I've put into retirement, and the difference in that insurance. So for you to already be in that working, and you're full time during the summer, do any part time work during the school year?
I'm starting next year, doing co-op next year.
So you'll co-op probably at lunch or
at lunch, yeah.
So part time job as a student, and on top of all that, back to the state Skills USA, because you were the champion, you got a scholarship, right?
Right, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that scholarship and what you plan to do with it.
It was $1,000 scholarship, I believe. I plan to use it at Shelton. I want to go to a diesel mechanic class. That's something that I'm not too familiar with, is diesel engines.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to learn, and I think it'll really help me in my career and even out of work.
Yeah. Well, and something that we've got coming down the pipe that may be of interest to you. Forgive me if I give the wrong name out, but we've got a heavy equipment mechanic course coming. So I guess technically that could entail those electric.
We might could get Jackson to teach that course.
Yeah, we could. I mean, you're doing it right now, aren't you? Is it?
Yeah, I'm helping with it. Yeah.
So what does that daily work schedule look like? Do you know what you're doing? Is it repetitious every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Well, a lot of the times in the morning, it starts off with tire rotations with sheriff's office cars.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just whatever comes in or whatever's been in there, which could be anything from just squad cars or heavy equipment to low boys.
And some conversation and text between me and your dad. He had mentioned part of that was with the bridge crews or something.
It's the shop's road and bridge yard.
Okay. So So have you got that experience to go out with any bridge repair or
Not yet, no.
that would be that's always been amazing to me to see when you're driving across these waterways and stuff, how it came to be and how it was engineered and
So far, I've just stayed in the shop.
just
And,
I would imagine you'll have. I'm so proud of you for. I came from the municipal world. I was park and rec director, but so very familiar with public works departments, street departments, and that kind of thing in the city. 2 cities that I worked for in that. So yeah, I know that there'll be plenty of opportunity when the storms hit and then y'all get called out
a lot of overtime
all
opportunities.
hours of the night, getting called out to clear trees, especially in the county, clear
Mhm.
trees, clear roadways of storms or ice storms or wind storms or flooding or whatever. So there'll be opportunity. But I'm so proud of you. As Matt said, we talk to a lot of kids these days who they're looking for that dollar. What can you do for me now? But to look forward to you're so advanced for your age, to look forward to the benefits that municipal government provides, and heck, you'll be younger than 45. You may be 43, 45, 43 to 45 years old, and you're eligible to retire.
Yeah.
New tier 1 with the state. You may not draw your money at that, but you'll have a full 20 plus years to go out and operate the equipment you've been working on for 25 years as a private guy. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a career well planned, and you know, as we talk about to kids all the time, they say, hey, this is a legit career you can get into, and without the debt of college straddling you for hear about people paying all that. So
yeah,
cool.
A question that we typically wrap up these podcasts with, and I don't think our journey or whatever you want to call it together is over. Again, you're a junior, but a year from now, when we're sitting back in the podcast seats, what are we toasting to?
He's not old enough to toast yet.
We can be toasting a milkshake, a root beer float. There's a lot of things to toast, but like, what is the next thing when we're together? What are we celebrating?
Probably some more opportunities. You know, I couldn't even imagine where it would begin.
So with that, and we had this conversation after the award ceremony at Nationals, but the whole time I was thinking you were a graduating senior and trying to figure out, with that scholarship, getting into whatever program, getting you back to Skills USA as a college student, but you've got the opportunity to return as a high school student.
Yeah.
And is there intention to do that?
There's a possibility. Yeah.
It's going to be in Birmingham next year.
It will be BJCC.
A lot closer. Yeah.
Yeah. So
let me ask one question quick before we wrap up, and it was so if you, and this is, it's kind of a loaded question or a big question, so you may have to get back with us on it because we would certainly value your input on it. But so I had written down, what one thing could we add to our Skills for Success courses that might help an individual in the state or national competition, whether that be some more theory or some more hands-on or different. Just you got any quick thoughts on that? Anything that came to mind?
A lot more hands-on stuff. Maybe like a motor grader course, something like that.
funny you say that. We
could
that's being piloted. However, right now that age is set as outside of high school age, but I think through the conversations with seeing the age that these students are in the companies allowing for liability purposes for, you were 17 at Nationals and running a
dump truck, yeah,
all kind of things. So
running some $500,000 equipment at least.
So I think that would be hard to, I don't know that we could tie that in as a prerequisite to compete at the district level and state, but definitely if there's a 18-year-old senior that is looking to really dive into this line of work, motor grader will be there. And even if you have to wait till after you graduate, I'm sure the Tuscaloosa County folks wouldn't mind somebody else getting trained to learn to drive a motor grader too. So,
and so keep that question in mind, and we would, since we will be interacting with you more this year. If you think of things along the way that, you know what, man, I saw something, I experienced something that would help, reach out to me or Matt or anybody on our team and let us know. We value anybody that's been through the course's feedback, but particularly someone like you has taken those courses, you've competed using that as a basis to enter and gone on, and you've gotten a job related. You know, your story is one to follow.
Yep.
And we want to keep up with you, and your success stories are coming.
Yep. Here's my challenge to you, and we spoke about this before we parted and went our different ways at nationals, but you've got the opportunity to come back as a senior.
Yeah.
Hopefully that we've got enough interest to where there's a district level to get to the state competition, but I'm challenging you. If you have a bad day during competition, so be it. We'll chalk that up and move on. But whoever the next state champion for the high school division is, if it's not Jackson Baker, they've got to earn it.
Right. Yeah.
So you not competing your senior year, that's what I'm challenging you. Make sure you compete.
Okay.
If you get beat, so be it, but they earned it.
They took it from me.
They beat the first ever high school heavy equipment operator for the state of Alabama. We will sing your praises forever and amen. And we know and we're confident there are even more important things you're going to do in your life in the future. But to be able to share some of these moments and you be the first. There will never be another first. That's you forever. So kudos to you for that.
Absolutely.
Do not forget about that challenge. Make somebody beat you. Don't just give it to them, okay?
Yeah.
And we'll
Definitely.
next year when we're talking about the returning champ,
Yeah.
we'll put a trophy up here on the
Well, in the last note, Jackson did learn during nationals, he was the only competitor there that wasn't a repeat competitor. So the first time for the state of Alabama, which that's common sense, we're not going to have somebody there, but everybody else had seen it before. So, and we told Jackson that like, the more you talk to other people, the more they know. But right now, you're the only student that's competed that knows all the ins and outs of what you do. So you can keep that in your back pocket, or you can share cliff notes with other people. But all these things are exciting, and we could continue talking for another hour, but they were going to cut the lights out on us. So this is going to conclude another episode of Innovation Unplugged. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow on all your social media platforms. Thank you.